Welcome to another GES review. Today we're talking about F1 2020. And so another year has passed and it's time for another Formula One game to come out. So with most sport games, every year you get a new edition. And just my personal opinion about these games getting a release every year. Is it always worth it? My opinion, I don't think it is. I think a year is too short to always get new and better stuff in a game. So I would say the release every 2 years is even cool, because then it's time for new technologies and new additions to be included in games, and you won't get games that just some small improvements has been made. Now, with that said, Formula One 2020 or F1 2020 is actually a great improvement from the 2019 edition. Yes, the 2019 edition, they made some small improvements, but now with the 2020 editions, there's some bigger improvements, and obviously the ones that got a bit of flack in last year's release now got some improvements, and it's a lot better. So first off, as we know, with this COVID-19 pandemic, a lot of sport was affected, as with a lot of industries and our lives. So with Formula One, the normal race season, has definitely been affected, and there's not as many races. These races cut short. Countries that said they don't want the race to take part. And luckily now for all Formula One fans, with the game you can enjoy the full 2020 season that would have taken place if it wasn't for the pandemic. So just a little extra bonus if you think of it that way. Then the other thing, there's a whole new mode in the 2020 edition called My Team. So this works similar to like My Career or your single careers mode, but instead in My Team you actually create a whole team. So you'll create an 11th team for the Formula One season. And what's cool about this is you do your own design, you choose your own engines, you've got your own facilities that you need to take care of, and it's just so much to do. Like, even you have to have the right balance of things, and maybe have won some constructor titles, for drivers to be interested to drive for you, for your team. So I think it's a really cool addition. It works. I loved it. The people are loving it out there, and I really think it's something that the game has needed for some time now. So there's all your other styles are still in the game. They work great. This is probably I haven't played a Formula One game properly that I owned for the last 3 years, and the one thing for F1 games has always been, it is more for truth fans than just any racing enthusiast, because it's a lot more of a simulation type of game than arcade enjoyment game. But I have to say, with F1 2020, they made the game probably the most accessible to all players than any Formula One game before. You can set the options from very relaxed to very assisted, where the game can play almost arcade-like, and if you're not the greatest driver out there, which probably includes me, you can still enjoy the game and win some races. It's actually really cool. I loved how they do, some of the way the cameras go and the graphics in the races are more to what it looks like on TV. which is a cool addition. And I also like the fact that you do some interviews, pre-season, during races, during, in between racing weekends. And those interviews, depending how you answer, actually affects the morale of your team or your development, your research. And it's just very cool. So yeah, check out Formula One 2020. It's a great looking game. The graphics isn't, for me, I think the graphics have, it's not true realistic graphics, but it's still beautiful to look at and amazing to see. So great graphics, the audio is good. The gameplay, I think, is probably one of the best I've experienced in a Formula One game. And yeah, you'll have tons of hours of fun enjoying this. Definitely a must-have for F1 fans. Cool. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and catch you guys next time. Cheers.